Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's go.
Round one, fight.
Thank you for tuning in to the Crypto Street Podcast. Here are your hosts, Killer Whale, Prince, and Crypto Dale.
And remember to tip your waitress.
What's good, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Another episode of the Crypto Street Podcast. This is Crypto Dale, still in cold-ass Iowa. Although, hey, Prince, today in Iowa, it reached like 23 degrees. Compared to the last 5 days, that's freaking beautiful. Compared to the last 5 days, that's probably a 40-degree temperature swing.
So yeah, we're about
we're
about minus 27 right now. So I don't know what that puts it into on your weather standard there, your format. Us Canadians, we're a little different.
Yeah, we're not going to convert on air because we get called dipshits when we do that,
we don't know how to do weather. So.
Friday is supposed to be 41, okay, and people will be walking around in shorts and t-shirts.
Oh yeah, man! Like snow on the ground here. I saw some kids out in shorts. They had winter boots and shorts on with a hoodie. It was the most Canadian thing I've ever seen before.
Well, everyone listen, we are without our fearless ringleader tonight. Killer is on a trip and unable to tune in, but making up for it's our amazing guest and fellow podcast supporter, Mansa _Godson on Twitter. I'm just going to call you Godson all night. But thanks for being on, man. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. You didn't say I was one of your favorite people on Twitter.
It was a given. I think I told Prince and Killer when I scheduled it, I'm like, Prince will vouch for me. I'm like, I literally have looked up to this dude, and I think I messaged you a long time ago, and you were, chill and answered. So I was saving something special for you, but now you ruined it.
I was waiting. I was actually waiting. I was like, okay, is he going to say he's his favorite? What are we going to get here? So
See?
You tossed me for a loop. I thought we were going to get the favorite.
Well,
so what's going on with you, Godson? What do you think of the markets? First, I guess let's get into maybe how you found out about crypto, how long you've been in the game. What was enticing about it to you?
Yeah, I'm one of the two people who got in 2015 when everything's dead, right? Because most people got in during the bump of 2013 or during the alt run of 2014. So 15 was the most boring year ever. Then 2016 had the pump and 17 had the pump. So most people didn't get in 2015 except me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of gives you an idea of why I got in. I didn't get in because there was this thing where I was going to make a lot of money or whatever. So in 2011, I heard about Bitcoin the first time, right? But I was kind of like a silver bug. I was just crazy, and I was the world is going to crash. Buy your silver, buy your gold, or whatever. So, the group that I was rolling with at the time was this Bitcoin thing is kind of cool. And everyone's like, no, it's a pump and dump scam. Forget about it. So it's funny because the silver that I bought then, I still have it now, and it's worth even less. And and I'm thinking I should have just bought Bitcoins instead, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, then again, in 2013, Dogecoin blew up. Well, 13 or 14, Dogecoin blew up, and then I got interested again. I bought some Dogecoins on eBay. I put it in my wallet,
eBay.
But eBay, fam, I know.
I've never heard of somebody buying crypto off of eBay before. That's a first for me. That's impressive, actually.
Well, that's because now there's Coinbase and what have you, and
yeah.
1,000 ways to get in. But back then, you either mined it or you just bought it off of some guy on the street or something. So yeah, I bought it off eBay. I put it in my wallet. My girlfriend asked me to go dinner with her, and that was it. I forgot the wallet. I forgot the coins. Lost a bunch of money there. So
Oh no.
Oh.
So hey, how did they send that to you through on eBay?
So what happens is you literally buy it and then you DM them like an address and they send it to you.
Oh, okay. They just send
Yeah,
it to you.
they actually stopped doing that because people buy the coins and then like reverse the transactions. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that wasn't a thing for
I see a
long.
lot of ways that
Oh,
buying
geez.
coins on eBay can go wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't until 2015 that I got like really serious in it. I was just I had just moved back from the UK to like where I come from, and then I'm just like sitting at home doing nothing. And my cousin, who's like my best friend, is like we're like looking up the dark web, just like being crazy and stuff. And he's like, what's this Bitcoin thing everyone keeps like talking about there? And I'm just like, yeah, it's this weird currency that no one uses. It's only for criminals or whatever. And he's like, we should probably buy some of it. So yeah, and that's when like you have a kid and the kid is like amazed about everything, so you have like that same feeling like, oh, this is actually amazing. It's kind of like that, right? He had a look in his eyes like, this is actually really cool. You can send money anywhere, blah blah blah. I kind of got that like excitement again, and then I decided to get in fully. But I actually didn't buy any Bitcoins till date. I think I put like $30 max into
Wow.
crypto. Yeah.
So did you get a lot of them then from mining? I take it.
Yeah. I did a lot of crazy stuff, man. I used to do like at first we were like doing like faucets, and then we realized you could just lease you know how you get like Amazon Web Services for like a week for free or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, so yeah, we used them to like mine Monero, and then we moved on to Azure, and we mined a bunch of like coins with the free CPU. So we're just like, that's kind of how we started. I didn't want to put my money. I still didn't like believe in it, and I wasn't really expecting to get rich. I was just doing it because I liked playing video games, and this was like my favorite. Like, it was like a video game to me,
Sure.
So yeah.
So are you still mining to this day?
Dude, mining is dead. Everything's an ICO now.
Yeah, that's for sure. What's your take on the current state of the market?
Yeah, like I said in I think the Shitcoin Talk episode before the last one, I basically outlined how this thing goes, right? In crypto, we have a saying. It's not popular anymore, but people used to say, "Sell in May and go away," and it kind of
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
yeah. So
You said
kind of,
sell in May and go away.
yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of
Cycles.
it kind of tells you like about the cycle. Like things tend to pump into the summer, and then like just after May, like June, July, August, they just start dying all the way down to September, all the way down to December, and then it actually tends to bottom out at like the December, January period. And then like you get your first like spike during that like January period, then a little sideways, and then summer again. So I said this in that episode. I'm like, think about it. Like, when did you get into crypto? If you ask yourself, it's probably sometime in the summer. For some reason, noobs like to get in like in the summer or something. I don't know. So it's like most pumps happen like during that time period. So it's like my general feeling. It's like we're past the like January sort of test pump, but then we're going into the summer actual pump.
Shit, yeah. I hope that's right.
I like that.
Let's talk about like airdrops a little bit. I don't think that's much we've really talked about. But before on here, I was part of the whole NXT thing, and like a damn noob I am, I didn't sell at the top. I mean, I still had a hella entry, still sold, most of my bag and made decent profit. But I did hold some just because I wanted to get that Ignis airdrop or whatever. And I know ETC and what is it, ZCL maybe, I think?
Z Classic.
Z
The other
Classic, yeah.
Z Classic, yeah. Those ones are coming up. Maybe let's just touch base on that, guys. And that was a hot topic in the pod today.
Yeah.
So
the thing about airdrops is like people think of it as like dividends. If you notice, even when Bcash was about to drop and Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Diamond were all about to drop, Bitcoin was moved by those like events. So people like imagine if you're like a normal like stock pleb and you're like waiting for a 10% increase in your portfolio or whatever, and you could buy like one of these like really big stable coins like Bitcoin or Ethereum or like use like Ethereum Classic or Zcash or whatever, and you can get in and it's really stable. It's not gonna like just drop off you, right? And you could buy it and catch an airdrop and maybe sell for a 20%. That has been a really like stable play. Very few like airdrops that I can think of didn't like perform well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you hold past the airdrop, then you get wrecked. But like
That's absolutely
leading up to it, they always pump.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see that with Ethereum Classic here now. It's kind of breaking out. Been on a nice little tear the last few days, and then Z Classic again is looking like it's breaking out of a consolidation phase. And I think both their airdrops are kind of around the same time. It's
I think it was March 5th for
the 1st to 5th of March kind of time
ETC,
frame.
I think, yeah.
For both, yeah. So we'll probably see those continue to pump. But it's funny because I'm looking at it and just looking at Twitter. I made a tweet today about it, how you can really get a good vibe for how the crypto Twitter and the traders are kind of thinking about it. And everyone's kind of got this buy everything, and then like a day or two before the airdrop, you have to sell it all. So I think it's going to be really funny to watch what happens with Ether Classic here as it gets closer to that airdrop date, especially because on Bitfinex you can load up the shorts on the US dollar and the Bitcoin pairing. So I've been kind of eyeing up those ratios, seeing how the longs or the shorts and how much you're opening up. And it's funny because there's a lot of shorts being opened up right now. I think like yesterday the shorts were up 30% on ETC Bitcoin ratio, which to me seems a little premature, honestly. And I think it'll probably just be added fuel for the fire as it pumps. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, that's the thing about like most of these airdrops is you can't really short NXT or Z Classic, but ETC is one of the first ones that you can actually short. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I don't think we'll necessarily see the insane move that NXT got right in the leading up days, just because there could be that added pressure on by the guys who are trying to load up on short positions. But I still think we're going to see a hell of a move, and it's still going to go up a lot more from here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely pretty bullish on it myself. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about it in bullish bearish, but I definitely think it's going to see a pump, mainly because I've got a bag also. So pump them bags, boys, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Godson, when you're doing trend analysis, stuff like that, TA, technical analysis, what are some things you look for, some indicators you use, if any, maybe touch base on what's your philosophy behind that?
Yeah, so there's one major thing that I look for before I even start like charting and like trying to buy a bag. And it's the EMA/MA sort of movements, right? And I have a thing that kind of alerts me when it hits a certain like percentage. Like when it hits a certain like level, like when the thing happens, I get like an alert. It's like a little bot that someone like built for me. So when I get one of those crossovers, like it like drops me a little like alert, right? Then I go look at the chart and see how it looks, and if it looks good, and if it's breaking up, or if it's breaking down, if it's Bitcoin or whatever. So it's been like one of my most stable, because the thing with TA is people think like the more indicators you use, the more like probability.
The more you know.
Yeah, it's like, no, man, that's not how that works, right? So like even when I post my charts, right, I tend to like turn off literally every indicator that I'm using to actually do the chart, and just I rest on support and resistance and like just candle bars because volume bars. Yeah, you also look at candle bars because those are interesting, but
Mhm.
you won't see me use a MACD or a Storch RSI or Ichimoku or even Bollinger Bands, even though they are useful. I just wouldn't put like my faith in like those. It's like
Yeah.
it's like TA is like the more intricate it gets, the less useful it becomes, and most people don't really get that.
Well, and at the end of the day, too, right? Like every TA is just based off of price action. And in the simplest form, all you need to watch price action is your candles and get some volume in there. And that's really all
Yeah,
you need, in the simplistic form. And that, that tells everything that, your MACD or your RSI is going to tell you. Those just try to simplify it. I think that's really,
yeah.
just,
The worst thing about those indicators, because I mean they are what you call lagging indicators, so they're always like 2 or 3 days
Mhm.
behind. The crossover comes way after, like whatever. I think Fibonacci is the only thing that actually sort of predicts targets or whatever.
Yeah.
But even that's a little too much voodoo for me. So it's like you don't really.
Yeah. I like to keep it pretty simple. I think volume, and then I like to have the 200 EMA and SMA on my chart just because love to know where those psychological lines are where people
Yeah,
think, okay, it's time to load up. That's really it. I got the Taiken Hashi or whatever those lines are on the Ichi Cloud. And yeah, I don't, I remember when I first started, it was like, add all the indicators because they're all
yeah.
so colorful. It looks cool, right?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, so a lot of these guys that post, TA on Twitter, right? I remember when they first started, and they were just posting charts with like 100, indicators, and it's just kind of interesting to see them
Yeah.
like as they get better at
Yeah.
it, they lose more and more like indicators, and they're just like, oh, you're getting it.
Yeah, you can see who's, and even myself, I look back at some of the first charts I was ever doing for myself when I first started trading, and I'm looking because I got all these charts saved on my computer on under a file. So I'm going back, a few years, and I'm looking at these things, and it's like, wow, like and to everybody else, I'm sure there's a lot of other people who have done this. You can look back and you can just see your evolution as a trader just based on the TA and the charts you're using. Because I remember I had maxed out indicators, like as many as I could get, right? Like my charts were an absolute mess. I could barely even see the candles. There were so many indicators. But I thought that was what I needed to be good, And then you go through and you get a little more experience and you're kind of like, yeah, this is just noise.
I think a lot of that, as noobs, you see these guys putting charts on, and you want yours to kind of maybe look as busy or maybe busier
Yeah.
than theirs, just so to kind of feel good about yourself. And a lot of them, I think, are more confidence builders in what you see on the chart. Okay, I see the MACD's crossing, so
Mhm.
do your thing. And I think a lot of it is just there at first. For me, it was at least to help build my confidence in reading charts. And then when you finally get your confidence built up, you're like, okay, I don't need this anymore. This is just waste space. And like I'm getting old and have a hard time seeing the computer screen sometimes. So it's like, okay, what the hell are those volume bars? How close are they and shit like that? So I'm like, okay, I can get rid of the MACD so I can actually focus on the volume bars and see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, think about the most experienced, like, profitable traders, right? Think about, like, and not just guys who came in 2017 and like looking to gain as many followers as possible. Not just think of guys who make a shit ton of money trading crypto, right? They rarely ever post charts. I remember, I like
Yeah.
like you never see Secrets post a TA on his Twitter account. You never see like Not So Fast, even though he's more of a miner, right? And even someone like
Yeah.
Nita Coin, who I make there's like a little like joke, like beef going on between me and him. You never see him post a chart, right? That's because you don't need to know exactly where. Like, I mean, it's not hard, right? Buy stuff that's stable and sell on a 10x or something. It's just like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
People want to day trade and jump.
I'm so superstitious too. It's like I don't like posting, it's like buying this or posting a chart like this is bullish. I'm so superstitious. It's like as soon as I'm gonna post it, it's gonna go against me.
The thing is,
Totally.
most people have this sort of day traded like mentality. They want to catch 20% every like day and then go to sleep or something, right? And this is not really something you have to do in crypto because there's no overnight charges or whatever. If you buy bag and hold it, you don't have to pay fees on that. So there's really no need to be like, trying to day trade coins, Like what I bought from I bought like Dogecoin in December for like 30 Satoshis or something, right? It went all the way up to 120 and it's down to like 80 or something or 60, I don't know. But the thing is, I'm still not losing money yet because I just decided to hold, right? But if I was trying to day trade it and selling fib extensions or what have you, I'm gonna be like buying in higher and higher, and then one day I'm gonna buy in higher and it just drops below me, and then I'm like, fuck, okay, now I'm holding a bag. So it's like, it's not that complicated. If you have a thing, just buy and hold.
Yeah, it's easy to get really caught up in it all. Especially, I'll always remember one of the first real pumps that I was around for when I got into crypto was the pot coin pump, where it went to like over 100 Satoshis or something. And it was just going nuts. This was like a bit ago. This is back 2016. And I remember I was like, kind of like you were saying, Mansa, trying to just trade it a lot, and because this thing was moving like crazy, seeing it go up or down by 20%, it was pretty normal. And yeah, by the end of it, I just ended up over trading myself right out of all these sweet gains and ended up walking away with some losses on something that pumped. It was like 500% in a matter of 6 or 7 days, right? And here I'm just feeling like an idiot.
Yeah. So think of Digibyte, for example, right?
Yeah.
DGB, the bottom was like 20 Satoshis or like 30 Satoshis or something like that. And most of us bought that bag, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people day traded it all the way up to 2K or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you bought that 20 Satoshis and held it now and then sold now, you'd still be up 20x. But if you wanted to day trade up and down, you would have bought like the top thing, and then it would just drop below you, and you'd be mad. But if you just bought and hold, even if you sold today after all the dumpage, you'd still be up 20x. It's that simple.
How do you approach the crypto game when it comes to risk management and setting in place your stops? Maybe go into that a bit.
Okay, yeah. I think I did a video about this a while ago. So in crypto, there's really no stop loss, right? You either do risk management or you do stop loss, but you can't really do both. So here's how I do it, right? My portfolio is managed in 3 different sections. I have one section where I used to like do crazy things, like buy ICOs or buy like OTC or something. And then I have the second section that I have split up into 5%. So like if I want to buy something, I take out 5% of that specific section and I put it into a coin. Mm-hmm. If it goes up against me, if it goes below and goes against me, it's fine. I'm a bag holder. I can hold this for like 3 months and end up on top, right? If it goes in my direction, then I sell, the first double just because it kind of secures like the profit. You're never going to lose money again on that trade. So then the third section is like my big like sort of. So I put out a tweet the other day, and my 3 biggest bags right now are LTC, Zcash, and ETC.
Yeah,
and these kind of make up my like the third section, which is like big bags that I have to maybe micromanage, but I'm doing it for like strong FA reasons or like some kind of inside information or something.
Okay.
Strong conviction, yeah. So it's like that's how I split up my bags. You have to like I split them up into 3 different sections, and like it's almost like being 3 people. It's not like it's So that's how it works. And then the sort of day-to-day day trading is like the middle one, and I just put 5%. So I have like if originally I had 20 possible sort of positions that I could fill. But as you sell halves on like the first double for each one of those bags, that position right now is 70 coins actually.
Yeah.
And I'm just holding it, right? I don't really have to sort of be afraid of, it dumping, because I've ROI'd that section so many times. Like I don't have to worry about stuff.
How the hell do you manage that with 70 bags?
It's actually very simple. When I buy a coin,
Uh-huh.
I have a Excel spreadsheet.
Uh-huh.
I just put it in. I just put it in. I bought this bag, and here's the price. Then I have a 2x sort of price marker, and that's it. And if it hits that 2x price, I sell it.
Oh,
That's
there
it.
we go.
It's not. I don't need. I don't even use Blockfolio. Like if you have to constantly like check the price of things and have it like see it go up and down, up and down, up and down every day, you're not gonna be able to withstand the craziness of crypto. So I put out a tweet some time ago, like when everything dumped, I'm like, I haven't even calculated my portfolio, but by the time I get whatever, get down to it, the dump will be over already, and that's what happened, right? It took me a few days to actually get myself together and do the calculations, and when I did it already, the dump was over. Bitcoin's already up like to 7 or 8K or something.
Hey, where would you rate that dump compared to previous ones that you've experienced?
So when I got into Bitcoin into crypto, I think the lowest price I saw of a BTC was $185, and it's just been going up since then, right? So it's like I haven't seen that many like strong dumps. But the other thing is, I mean, I think apart from like the dump from $1,000 when we got the first CFTC hearing on ETFs or something. Apart from that one, I haven't really seen a dump that bad.
Yep.
But I still didn't really sort of panic too much because, like I said, I'm risk free on this. If it goes down to $1,000, I'd still be up in profit. So
one thing that I've noticed, and we've kind of reiterated this several time and time again on the show here, is finding what works for you, what's your trading style. Something that I like to do that I've noticed eases my pain a lot is if I'm in something and my target is hit, I'll sell my original investment in Bitcoin, BTC value, and then I just let the rest ride out. And if it ends up tanking, then it ends up tanking because everything from there on is clear profit. I mean, the opportunity cost might not be the same, but at least I can ride that and be fine.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a lot of evidence how it's kind of like sometimes when you think maybe you got a really good winner and you just want to get all out, which I've experienced, and then you see it go up another 5x or something. So I'm kind of with you where I like to, take out your original investment, your capital that you first put in. And then, I'm not one to scale out all at once. I do it slowly,
Right.
kind of spread it out over time. That way, you're not getting completely, I guess, looking at yourself like, wow, what an idiot. I sold out and missed all this.
Yeah. You see, the thing about having this sort of 3 sections to your portfolio is you kind of, you notice how like you react to each section, like on how they do. So like the middle section, I could hold bags those 5% all the way up to whatever. But like the third section where I've put 20% of that section into a bag, I feel myself sort of being emotionally impacted by like the actual price. So the thing is, if you properly structure your portfolio, if you use proper risk management, you're going to be comfortable holding these bags until they moon, right? But if you've gone in if you put like half your portfolio into one trade, if it goes up like 2x, you're gonna be like, yeah, and then it goes up like 20%, and you start like crying. Then you sell, then it goes up another 10x, and then you're like, why did I do that? And it's like you've put too much emotional investment into that one trade, and you cannot like physically withstand all that sort of movement. So
How do you keep fresh, because crypto is so 24/7, 365. It's hectic as all hell. It's chaos really most of the time in these markets. How do you stay mentally fresh?
So, unlike most other people, I haven't quit my whole life.
There you go. Yeah.
So, when I came back from London and stayed home for like a year, I decided to move to the US, and I decided to like go to school here and like get an education and finish my degree. And even though I'm like slightly older than like most of the white chicks here, it's totally cool. So like I still have like day-to-day things that I have to go do, and like stuff that keeps my mind away. I go to parties and get drunk, and I wake up the next day and I read Twitter, and like there's already been a dump and a pump,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I missed the whole panic. So yeah, that's one thing that I do. And like I said, if you buy bags early and hold them, I've logged into Bittrex like twice this week. I don't really have to constantly keep like looking at my bags. Plus, I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I do have access to a lot of like bots and a lot of people who sort of who I work with, and
Mhm.
so it's kind of easier to sort of just work with other people and have some useful like bots and stuff. But that's it.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of echoes that point, Dale, you've made a few episodes back where it's just network.
Yeah.
That's with me, that's really when I've personally seen my portfolio grow the most, was after I've networked a little, and mainly stopped chasing those Twitter calls. I guess was early on. I think like everybody, I was super bad at that. I'd be like, oh shit, they say this is gonna pump, and then I'd pull up the chart and see a big green dildo and be like, oh, it's gonna go higher, I'm buying, and then I get totally wrecked. So
yeah, don't chase pumps, man.
but I think that's key. Yeah, that's awful. If you see, like Luke said something,
It's the hardest thing to
it
do
is.
sometimes.
It's so hard. Luke Martin said something on
Yeah.
Twitter today that kind of resonated with me. That said, basically, it just alluded to being patient. If you see something that's pumped, just sit back and wait. Don't chase anything.
Yeah.
So it's easier to tweet and say than to actually do.
Yeah, like what I like to do is remind myself there's like 2,000 coins out there, and there's so much
Right.
fish in the sea, and you don't have to chase pumps. Most times they come back to you anyways. It's like, that's the first thing you have to learn about crypto, is just not to chase pumps, and just wait and hold back. If you feel really bad, tweet about it and cry on Twitter, and other people will cry with you, and you feel good about it. That's it.
Yeah, that's the key. I think sometimes too, you gotta early on, you gotta be kind of die by fire, and that's how I, personally, I learned the best from my mistakes, and learning firsthand. Everyone can tell me don't chase pumps, but until I actually chase one and get totally fucking wrecked, I probably would still be chasing them.
I had to learn. I had to lose a lot of money to
learn
some of these lessons. Yeah, and it gets to a point where you're like, all right,
yeah,
I'm kind of sick of losing money now. Let's figure this shit out. And then you just, and it's really, it is like that. It's just like a switch, you snap your fingers. But to get to that point, depending on the person, for me, it took a little time because I'm kind of stubborn at moments. So yeah.
I just think that's one of the good things about starting in small. Like if you start with like $20, and crypto is, you can trade with $1 if you can, right? So starting with a little money allows you to make these mistakes without feeling like you've lost your entire like life savings. It's still, this is like the main reason people tell you, like, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. It's like it allows you to sort of make those mistakes, in a safe and cheap environment.
I think
Yeah.
I think you need to come on with a clear head, and if you're not understanding it, I totally recommend throwing $1 or $10 at it, and just in your mind, maybe it's easier said than done. I understand, but maybe think, okay, this is really $1, but let's just pretend that I'm trading $100,000, and do the scalability with that, and then it'll, you'll see it grow and learn.
I love that. When I first started, and I think this is kind of common for a lot of people when they first start trading and they get into the market, is they're like, the only thing they see is how much money they can make. That's the only thing that is even, in their mind. They're not thinking, because I was the same way. I was not thinking about how much I could lose. It was only about how rich I'm going to get. That was the only thing on my mind. 17 years old, thinking, oh man, I'm going to be the next Wolf of Wall Street. This is going to be cool. And then you blow up your portfolio. And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
What did I do here?
I mean, that's the thing. Someone asked me like the other day, like, do you know a place where I could paper trade altcoins? And I'm like, nah, man, just start with $1 and pretend that like it's $1,000 and that's your paper trade, right? So that's just how it has to happen.
I spent so much time just tinkering around. I remember because like when I got into crypto, I didn't start with much at all. It was nothing. But I remember on Bitmex, because I was just kind of obsessed with trying to develop strategies. But when you're trying to develop strategies and you're using leverage, especially on Bitmex, you can end up going through your funds fairly quickly at times. So I remember I was really just I was just testing things with $20 at a time, and it was wicked. Now I look back at it, I was like, thank God I was taking it such a little bit, and it was like, okay. But.
Yeah, Bitmex and margin trading is one of those things that it's like, whenever I show like a Bitmex link, I have to go outside and beat myself. Because I'm like, it's like I know someone is gonna go in here and just absolutely get wrecked, and I just but I'm still like
blown up a few accounts.
Yeah, and we can talk about like mining and stuff if you guys want to as well. That's fine.
Well, I actually just wanted to ask you about leverage trading. Now that we're kind of on that topic. Okay. Toss the listeners your view on this, because I think there are some guys we see on Twitter and people will see that that's all they do is just trade leverage. And then there's some guys who don't even touch it.
Yeah. The thing about people who trade leverage on Twitter is they don't show you their losses.
Accurate. 100%.
Yeah. So like, they do make wins, but they do make losses. If you want to be successful in like margin trading, is actually quite simple. You just have to, like, you're not going to make one big win in a single trade. You're just going to have to wait for, like, just keep waiting and keep waiting and keep waiting, and a good trade is going to come by, and then you're going to go in with very little margin, right? So, like we said about, so take like Ripple, for example, right? Everyone knew when Ripple pumped to $3 or whatever, and was about to flip, BTC was about to the flipping or whatever. Like everyone knew that was the top, right? You could have gone in there with like a 2x margin and put in a short. Like it's very unlikely that you'll get margin called in that trade, but it's very likely that Ripple is going to tank and you'll make money. But the problem is guys go in with that confidence and then try to do like a 5x trade or something, like a 5x margin. And then like the little spike kills you, right? It's the same thing with ETC right now. Mm-hmm. We all know that it's going to pump into the like airdrop. We all know it's going to dump after the airdrop. That's very simple. So you're like really confident it's going to happen. So like a very simple trade is to wait after the airdrop, put in a 2x margin. You may not make a lot of money. You may make like 40% or 50%, but that's fine. You don't have to make 2,000%. Like whenever you see someone on Twitter, they're posting like a 2,000% trade or 4,000% trade. You don't have to do that. You can make like 40% now and just sit back, wait for the next like
Yeah.
really confident trade.
It's kind of funny too to hear you say that too. It's like, and this is so crypto. Like this is the times we're in. It's like a small gain of about 40 to 50%, and it's like it's so funny because in comparison to these guys who are posting what 2,000% gain, but Lord knows they're probably using cross leverage
Right.
too. So it's
Yeah.
everything's exaggerated.
And people need to understand is profit's profit, whether it's 1%, 5%, 10%, 10,000%. If you want to stick around in this space and catch those big ass pumps, you just got to keep churning profit. It doesn't matter if, like I told you before we got on, I closed Bitcoin long today for 9% and profit. And that ain't shit, but a hell of a lot better than losing.
It's profit.
But that's good though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, if you could make 10% trades every single time you trade and have like very little chance of losing money, that's better than trying to get like the
Right.
100x trade that wrecks you like every second try or whatever. It's like, but that's what people don't really know, and no one's really like explaining it to noobs. Or
I think the
something.
math is something like if you deposit $100 and would earn 3% on a daily basis for 9 months, I think that $100 would turn into $23,000 in 9 months. So, just let that soak in.
Yeah. It's a long game. It's not like you're not gonna make one trade and make all the money at once. It's a long game. It's like one trade, maybe a week or 2 weeks. Get your 50% there, and then just like wait for the next really obvious trade every one or 2 weeks. That's it. That's how it goes.
That's right.
Yeah, but the thing is, then you can't brag on Twitter about how you made 1,000% or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to bullish bearish. This is Godson, where we'll say 3 or 4 coins, and then we'll just say over the next couple weeks if you're going to be bullish or bearish on it. So we'll do the next month. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the first one obviously is Bitcoin on coinmarketcap.com. It's currently about $8,700. Are you bullish or bearish, fellas?
You know what? There was a ton of volume that went in around those lows. I'm gonna say I'm bullish right now, but I think we still got a downtrend resistance line that we got to bust through for me to go completely bullish. But yeah, I'm kind of like I'm neutral, but I'm leaning on that edge of being a complete bull and all that. But
I'm slightly bullish because, like he said, from if you look at that that volume bar at 5K, you could see a whale just buying up a ton of coins and entering the market.
Yeah.
So I'm slightly bullish because we're not like out of the weeds yet. It could still like turn down against us, but I'm slightly bullish.
I'm gonna take the Prince stance, and I'm gonna say I'm neutral.
there you go.
I think I if I had to pick, I would say I'm maybe just a tinge bullish, just because I'm so bullish on it for the long term. But I was really wanting to see that candle close above 9K. What was that yesterday? I think.
Yeah.
If that
There's a
would
lot
have
of
done
people
that, I
getting
would have
worked up
been.
over that.
Yeah, I saw that too. But I would have been totally more bullish on that if it would have done. But I mean, long term, I'm definitely 100% bullish. But next month, we'll kind of see. I agree with what you said, Godson. I don't think we're out of the weeds quite yet. We could maybe go back and see.
Yeah.
Next one, we're gonna go ETC. Currently, what is it? $35. Bullish, bearish.
Bullish.
Yeah, boy.
I'm just gonna leave it at bullish.
Yeah, I'm definitely bullish. Until the airdrop, I'm still gonna be bullish. And then after the airdrop, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it turns, bearish or not. But yeah, I'm bullish until the airdrop.
Yeah, I'm definitely bullish, mainly because of the airdrop. Also, I think after that airdrop, I'll be pretty bearish. I'm gonna short the shit out of it. I can guarantee you that.
It'll be a Bitmex party.
So let's go with one that's been pumping. Today is the 13th. Let's go with one that's been pumping right, but kind of before we started recording this, Litecoin, currently at 179, up 13% in the last 24 hours. Bearish, bullish, fellers.
Oh, I don't like rock, lit rock. I've never really liked Litecoin. So, but it was looking pretty good. So I'm gonna say bullish for the time.
Yeah. About the do you remember what we used to call Ripple?
Cripple.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Cripple.
Yeah, cripple.
Yeah.
Because it never pumped, right?
Yeah.
For years and years, it just kept going downhill.
Yeah.
And then one day, it blows up like 100x, and everyone's like, "What happened here?" So, like I said, in the third section of my portfolio, my three biggest bags are ETC, ZEC, and LTC, and that kind of gives you an idea of when I turned bullish. A week and a half ago is when I bought those bags. So I'm bullish on those three bags, mainly because at first I took those trades as a kind of BTC, as a Bitcoin hedge, but then and they all just started doing well. So I'm bullish on LTC, and I'm hoping for a new high today or tomorrow. Bullish.
I'm kind of bullish in the next couple days, but overall, ever since Charlie dumped them, I just can't and I have some too, so I just can't get behind it. I don't know. That's just my
he broke your trust.
It's totally like he was that cheating girlfriend that you maybe let back in, and you just can't, you're just constantly checking the phone and all that shit. So the last one is
but do you remember when Vitalik dumped his coins? What was it called again? I've forgotten what it was called, but it was like some stupid thing some bullshit, but he dumped like $2.5 million worth of Ethereum, and everyone got mad. And that was when ETH was like 0.02 or something, and it was still cheap back then. Then it continued to pump. So that for me is not really a big deal. Charlie has never been behind the he was never the market maker for Litecoin. I mean, he wasn't even working on the project for a long time. He was working for Coinbase. So, I mean, then he quit his job at Coinbase after they listed LTC. So you have to understand he's done his job there. So
total. That's the damn truth. And I don't have anything against him. I think he's been pretty transparent the whole time, and he seems like a good guy. So he's got that going for him, I guess. Final one is my baby. So Godson, please be nice.
Please be nice.
Lux Coin, currently at about $12.
12.
I'll get you there.
What's the market cap on that right now?
About 12 million. It is actually at $12 right on the head. Market cap's 12.2 million.
News came out after saying yesterday that he dumped his bag, and everybody else just followed suit, I guess. You know what? I'm bullish on Lux right now. I think, obviously we just saw some people dump all their holdings, so maybe now it's time to buy. There's some stuff coming out in the next few days, smart contracts and all that shebang. So, it's such a low cap though. It's to me, it's
got
like
potential.
Yeah, it's like the most speculative position to me you can make. It's like, because it's such a low cap, so you gotta kind of take it easy. You don't want to pile on the risk too much.
Yeah,
you want to buy a ton of it.
I don't really know what to say without hurting your feelings.
You're bullish. That's what you said. I'll cut you off. I am bullish as shit on this. Everyone knows that follows me and listens that this is my baby. I love the team behind it. They've got smart contract SegWit's coming up here in the next week-ish. So I think it'll be. I think it'll go back up. So I'm bullish as shit. Long term, short term, rest of my life. I am a Lux coin supporter.
Oh boy.
Community member.
Shit.
Oh boy.
Well, Godson, you got any final remarks?
Nothing much to say. Just keep on trucking and hope 2018 is as good as we all hope it is. And yeah.
I like it.
Well, I wanna thank you for being on. I know Prince and Killer mirror my statement. Thanks for being a good dude, answering my questions because I still bug the shit out of you. I know I do. So thanks for that. Thanks for everything. It's a great episode.
No, thank you,
had
man.
fun.
It was a pleasure
Yeah, man.
actually being here because I do watch the show. I watch literally. I've seen every single episode, so I'm kind of a fan as well.
Oh, I like it.
There we go.
Go give him a follow. I had your damn Twitter up. I think it's
Like he needs any more content.
oh
Yeah,
Jesus.
give him a follow.
It's Mansa underscore Godson on Twitter. Give him a follow. He gives great calls, posts good stuff. You want to share your
well,
YouTube
if you
channel?
just Google altcoin Godson on the Google machine, you'll find literally everything I do.
I love how you just called it the Google machine.
That's the
I
weird thing.
didn't
Like, yeah. So yeah, you find my Twitter, you find my YouTube account. Tomorrow we're doing an episode with a bunch of the OG miners about mining, so
cool.
that'll be cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So everyone, go check it out. Give him a follow. Subscribe to his YouTube. Like and subscribe Crypto Street Podcast if you would on iTunes everywhere. Give us 5 stars and only 5 stars. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so all you guys out there, even though you won't get to listen to this before Valentine's Day, so that was fucking pointless. But tip your waitress, would ya? Jesus, I'm fucking tired of having to say it every episode. Tip your waitress. Prince, any parting words?
Be nice to one another. Just be nice. Be good people.
Yeah. What is that picture? It says it doesn't take anything to be a good person.
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace out. You what? Peace.
There we go.
See you guys.
Bye.